Hello everyone, Basic Holly here again, and we are back with another upload. Now I've been uploading like crazy recently, but I had a little idea in my head. I thought, why don't we try something a little different? We're going to do Daily Race B, which is around the Nürburgring, which is 4 laps in Group 3 cars. But I thought we'd try a little mini series where we always start at the back, we don't qualify, and we take the 3 worst rated cars in the game. Now, I've picked the 3 for now. First we're going to use a Hyundai. Because it is a bit of a mean wagon, to be honest with you. Whenever you think of a bad car in Gran Turismo, the Hyundai normally comes up. It gets a bad rep, but it's not actually too bad, I don't think. But we'll see how we do. So as we enter this race, you can see, set no qualifying time whatsoever. I've done no practice. I can't remember the last time I've been around this track. We're going to start right at the back in this Group 3 car, and we're going to see what we can do, essentially. Yeah, and see where we go from there. The other 2 cars you'll see later on, but for now I'm just going to show you what the Hyundai can do, and basically what happened in the first race, and see we'll see what progress I can make without any practice whatsoever. I imagine in this first race there, hello, we get a nice little good evening from our friend down there. Thank you very much. No idea who he is, but maybe you've seen one of the videos. Who knows? But I thought I'd send him a little message back saying, thanks very much, nice to meet you, kind of thing. So as we send that little message there you go. Hello, good evening, nice to meet you, you strange. I think it's Hungary, is it? I don't know why I call him strange, but yeah, I think it's Hungary. As we get ready to start this race then. So here we go, Group 3 around the Nürburgring. Not obviously, this is the GP track, not the full-blown Nürburgring, otherwise this would be a very long video if we're planning to do 3 races. So this is the lineup then, 15 of us. I think someone left already, so technically we've already gained a position, so there you go. Make sure traction control set to 0. You can tell I'm never going to use this thing because it was set to 3. So from that evidence you can tell already that I do not use a Hyundai normally, as we got Mac tools on there. Look at that, it's a beautiful livery, light blue and red. That's sexy. That is one sexy livery. As we start with the Spaniard in front of us in the WRX. I like the WRX, but the when you go on races with this tyre wear, it wears out quite a bit. So in this race, I imagine it's not too bad. Actually, as we get around this first corner, feels a bit tail happy. First corner. I suppose the tyres might be a bit cold, but yeah, just not used to the car yet, as we've only really done 1 corner. Also, I have no idea what the braking points are. I have absolutely no idea. I'm just trying to, get a feel for the car, because I have no idea where to brake on this circuit in this car, because it's completely alien to me at the moment. Because the last time I went around, I cannot remember the last time there was a daily race on this circuit in this group, and it probably wasn't that long ago. But I'm not really a massive fan of this circuit, if I'm being honest. I've seen Super GT. He's a big fan of this circuit, and he does really well around here. If I was to face him, he'd blow me out of the water. I wouldn't have a chance. I'm not very good around this circuit at all, but never mind the idea of this little mini-series to see how we can do. I'd like to do 3 different cars, which is what we're going to do in this video. And then at the end of the video, I'd like to ask if anyone's got any ideas of what 3 cars they'd like next. Just write it down in the comments. I'll choose which 3 cars can be used. Just the most liked comment, to be honest with you, in the YouTube comments, obviously. And we'll just choose those 3, and we'll see how we go. I might try and find some funny liveries to go with them as well, but we shall have to see. So halfway through the first lap then, as we get ready to go on the little back straight for the famous chicane, which can make or break a race already. Subaru's gone wide there. He's gone a bit tail happy, which is surprising considering 4-wheel drive system. We tried going the inside here, but it just blocks us off there. So we're really behind it now. The Subaru's not great in a straight line, so we go on the left hand side here. All I'm doing is watching when he brakes and just braking slightly afterwards. It causes us to miss the apex slightly on that corner, and you see the Subaru just gets a bit tail happy there as we go around the last corner and we get back on the straight. So there we go. So 1 lap done essentially, as we're now on the straight. It's not gone too bad, has it, really, to be honest, considering we have no practice. We've made a position, so that's pretty good. So you can see this camera shot here of all the cars in front of us. It does look nice. I wish I was more involved in this one, but the way as I just absolutely outbrake myself. I forgot I did that actually, and yeah, there you go. So what I was saying earlier about not having an idea what my braking points were, that is a prime example right there, because those 2 have just flown by me. So all my hard work that I did on the first lap, I've given it up straight away, really. What I'm also going to do in this video. I'm just going to keep an eye on the fastest lap as well, I think. So out of the 3 cars that I'm going to choose, which one's the fastest? Essentially, what's the fastest lap? I imagine by race 3 I would have, warmed up a little bit. So the car in race 3 should have a bit of advantage. Subaru gets all sorts of that shape there, and the Porsche just goes to the back of him. So it looks like we could have a nice little battle between these two here. And we'll see what's going to happen in this corner as we brake at the right point. This Porsche here just decides to, I don't know if he was letting me through, he just completely missed his braking point. He's very, very polite, shall we say. So we managed to get past him, so now back up to 14th place. So, made up 1 position. Not magic, is it? But it's not fantastic. But this circuit, it's quite hard for overtaking, really, to be honest with you, apart from the straights. As we get very close to the Subaru again here, I'll brake a little bit too late here, and we can see the Audi's getting involved. The Audi should be quicker than any of us around here, to be honest with you. That car's well suited for this track. So is the Porsche as well. It's not too shabby, but this Hyundai, there's no track where you'd say this Hyundai is got a strong point, because it hasn't got any. As we look for a move on the inside here, but there's not really one, and then I have to dive on the inside there, and then he hits me, and that was that. Yeah. So that was annoying. So yeah, 2 laps in, I felt like we were just about to overtake 2 people. Certainly got that Subaru on the chicane, and then he thought, nah, fuck you mate, you ain't having that move. And he kind of just politely tapped me, and that was it, game over. So for the race 4 then, race 2, we've gone for the BMW Z4, which is well renowned in the GT Sport community for being a pile of shit. It is pretty poor. In the latest BOP update, it's got a bit of an upgrade, but still, it's not great, is it? It's really not. It's not great. I mean, the car, it grips a lot. It's got loads of grip, but then you feel it just grips because it's got no power. So you can kind of just get that feeling from the car that it's not great. And the car in front of us is a Mercedes. So as you can see on the spoiler there, it says powered by BMW. I really wouldn't advertise that BMW. It's not a good advertisement for your engine at all, this car. As we go around the first corner, as you can see, it just feels planted. You feel this car, if there weren't other cars at the race, it sounds crazy, it'd actually feel like you're doing alright, because it's really grippy, but it's just really poor in a straight line, and acceleration wise it's not great. So although you feel quite good in the corners, on the straight lines you just nowhere really. But this Mercedes didn't really have a good first corner, so we've managed to catch up with him pretty quickly, to be honest with you. Annoying thing about this race is the spread. It spreads out quite quickly. Gran Turismo is famous for its rolling starts, just to make sure that there's not a massive amount. Honestly, nearly, I don't know how I kept control of that there, nearly wiped himself out. Yeah, so Gran Turismo always has like rolling starts, well 90% of the races, I should say. And yeah, it's good because it means that there's not, chaos going to the first corner, but then again, it adds a bit of excitement, doesn't it, really, if you've got that. I imagine just starting in 4th place and then seeing the top 3 take each other out and you've taken the lead. Just some bit of excitement as Mercedes goes wide here, as we really get close to the back of him. But going up this hill, I will have to slipstream, but we're not really going to be able to do much because we're powered by the mighty Z4 engine, which, by the way, sounds really good in real life. But yeah, it's just all noise, to be honest with you. It doesn't do anything at all. As we've stuck behind this guy in the slipstream the whole way up there, I didn't gain anything. If anything, I lost time, to be honest with you. I didn't do anything at all. As he really is out of shape. I don't know. There you go. Look how wide he's gone there. And we've gone for the inside here, so we're going to take him on the inside there as we get really close. And it's just by the time he's in my slipstream, look at that. I feel as if he's, we overtook him because we had more speed, and then as soon as we overtook him, he was going the same speed as us. So yeah, it's just the speed in this thing is just, it's really naff. It's the only thing I can say about it. I suppose if there was any track that would suit it, it would have to be like kind of tight, technical, not a lot of high speeds. As you can see there, I think it's Mercedes there of another user. It's just it's just seemed to maybe have a penalty and wipe himself out. So that's another free position. So thank you, Rick Moto GP 93. I think it was quite near the front, so not quite sure what's happened there, but we'll have to keep an eye out for him, because if he's quite quick and he's in that Mercedes, he is going to be right on the back of us. As we can see, there's quite a juicy fight going up ahead. There's about 4 or 5 cars in a row, so I'd love to get involved in that if I can. That would be fantastic. This section here that we've just gone through is very what's the word? I can't really think of the word. It's when you go through there and you think you can go flat out, but you can't. You really need to actually go quite a bit slower so you can hit the middle of the corners and power out then. It's not flowing, shall we say. It's very manipulative, that's the word. And it just, you get confused by it when you go around it the first time, because you want to just, you want to go as fast as you can around there, but it just causes you to go wide, and yeah, it's not great. It's not great at all. So you've got to make sure to keep calm going through there, and yeah, just keep it. I'd say keep it in second gear for the most part of those corners. As we go through this little section here, 1.5 seconds behind the guy in front then, and 1.6 seconds in front of the guy in the Mercedes. Well, both of them actually. They're 1.7, 1.8 now, so they must be having some sort of fight, because I seem to be gaining quite a bit of time there. As I think we're just about now 1.1, so we've gained about 5 tenths on the guy ahead. So we're firmly in the slipstream range now, which is what we're going to desperately need in a car like this, to be honest with you. As we outbrake ourselves again, we weren't great on the brakes in this car at all. Maybe it's a trait of it, but I seem to be braking at the right time, but it's just the brakes just didn't seem to be there as we get ourselves ready for the straight once again. So little sit rep then. So we got 2 Brits behind us in the Mercedes. They have just disappeared, as you can see them there, and then we've got this Nissan which has joined the trail of all of the other cars. So I want to get on the back of this Nissan, keeping the slipstream, as we can see about 6-7 cars there by the looks of it all fighting. So if they keep fighting, we really can get involved. You can see on the straight there I was 1.8 seconds behind. I was 1.1 2 corners before that, so he gained 7 tenths on me. That's the difference in that GTR and the slipstream. It's so quick in a straight line anyway, so that's the slipstream, but as soon as it's got it, it's absolutely lightning. You cannot stick with it. I think the only thing that can really stick with it is maybe the Ford GT or the McLaren F1. Apart from that, you haven't really got a chance, to be honest. As we can see here, we're really starting to catch this group ahead now. Oh, as we can see, there's a Porsche, I believe, up ahead. Well, that's got a penalty. Is he serving it now? Yes, he is. So he's going to be involved in the fight as well, which is nice, because we want to see what positions we can gain. It'll be interesting to see by the end of this video what positions we got. So the Hyundai, I'm going to give it a DNF really. As we get another Porsche off the track. So that's 13th now. So look at this. We gained 3 positions on this race. So certainly going better than what the Hyundai did, to be honest with you. I think it's just because this car is so stable and so easy around the corners. I seem to be going quicker than in the Hyundai. I've never been a massive fan of that Hyundai anyways. I'd much rather be in the Z4, lack this top line straight speed and acceleration for good cornering speed. Nearly half a tenth up and this lap, so it's not too shabby. Right on the back of this, I think it's a Mazda. So we'll look like we're going to fight for 12th, see what else we can get from this. As I give a brake point a little bit better, but then I just, again, I'm going over that far too deep, and my exit is pretty poor on that. So let's get ourselves back on the straight then. We know we're not going to take anyone on this straight, especially in this car. We're not really going to go anywhere. But as long as we stick in the slipstream, we won't lose too much time. Fingers crossed. And the guys behind us, yeah, they've really started to fall behind now. So far in the Z4, we've gained 3 positions, and I've thought about a move around the outside there, but then I just thought, nah, just try and hit the middle of the apex and just stick with him, because it's not worth it this early on. We'll maybe make some late lunges as the race goes on, as we are getting quite close here. This is what I mean by this corner earlier. You want to power out, but you just got to stick in second gear for as long as you can, and this one here, and then power out last second. You will go wide, but it is the best line as that GTR. Tries to do what we did, put the power down too early, and the rear just kind of stepped out on him. So really close between these two now. As I think about a move on the right hand side here, but he just blocked me off, so can't really do too much there. He defended well and just blocked me off. So as we can see now, these two still fighting right on the back of them, just waiting for some sort of mistake to happen from the Frenchman or the chap in front. I think it's maybe just a slight little tap here. He goes on the inside as it gets all kinds of messy there, and yeah, this guy here, look, he gets a 1 second penalty. You can tell the penalty system's back, can't you? Because he's got a second penalty for nothing really. He has done fuck all really. He's done nothing, and he has got himself a nice little penalty, and so we'll be able to use that to our advantage. So if we keep within 1 second of him as he goes wide there, we dive it in on the inside there, and we get 12th position. lovely. Probably would have got it because he'd served his penalty at the end. But that GTR's got the slipstream. Look at him. Even though we've taken him on that corner, look how much quicker he is. He is absolutely behind me. He's right up my rear end. I tried to go defensive here, and I've got it. As we can see, the Mercedes takes a massive corner cut, and then he loses the rear end there, and we're up to 11th place. And that's it. This is the final corner, and yeah, how good is that? So in the Z4, of all things, we are going to get P11. That is a cracking result. That is not bad at all. I think our fastest lap there was 1:57.5. Still not lightning at all, but made up 5 positions in the Z4. So in the 3 worst cars scenario, that's doing the best so far, I reckon. So race 3 then. What are we going to pick? It has to be, for me, the Lancer. I really love this car in real life. I'm a massive fan of the Lancers and the Subarus. I love my Japanese cars, but it's just a shame this car kind of sucks on this game. The only way I can really describe why it sucks is because, again, the straight line speed, it just disappears. As soon as you get like above 120, I think pretty much anything in the category kind of beats you, and that's what ruins it. It's a real shame, to be honest, because on this game, I say this car and the Subaru is quite, you know, they're quite similar, but the Subaru just seems to have it in a straight line, and it's yeah, it's just better in that aspect. So we're going to start at the back then in the Lancer, and we'll see what we do in this. As you can see, traction control 0, so I've definitely used this thing before. 248 miles used in the old girl, so not too many miles, but you know, still got some experience in it. As we're just about to get this race underway, and it's starting the back for race 3. So Hyundai DNF, because we got taken out. The BMW Z4 P11, so 5 positions up. These are A+ and SS players, by the way, so these guys are not slow in the slightest. So to make up 5 positions in the Z4, very happy with that. Very happy as the Evo there goes a bit tail happy, thinking about its rally days and wanting to get its rear end out, but we managed to keep it under control. As we can see all the guys flying past there on the straight, ready for the first corner. I'm surprised in this race not as many people got taken out. See, yellow flag here, just as I'm taking that. Hit that corner lovely, by the way. That's how you want to do it. Ooh, rear end again. Look at that. It really is quite tail happy at the moment. So yeah, we'll want to keep an eye on that. I saw a yellow flag. I didn't really see us overtake anyone, but then I can see the Irishman. I think it's Niall. He is 4 seconds behind. So he's gone off somewhere. He's been pushed off as we nearly go off there. Jeez Louise, yeah, as we nearly go off. So he's, yeah, something's happened to him there. So we'll just have to crack on now and see if we can chase down the Belgium. Or Belgium? How would you say that? Belgium's fine with me. As he goes really wide there, hits the sand. And we can really try and gain some time there. But as you can see, even though he's gone on the gravel and lost quite a bit of time, he's just not gained much. But as we go on the inside here, he was very generous. So I thought any other car you would have got the move done there, but because the Evo's so crap basically in straight line speed scenarios, he just, yeah, he manages to get me again. But really good racing coming up that hill. I'm amazed we didn't take each other out, to be honest with you. As he brakes really early there, so I've had to kind of go to the right to avoid going into the back of him. Brakes early again, just not a very good racing line coming through here, to be honest with you. And I go to the right, this is going to be an example of the straight line speed. I changed early because I knew he'd overtake me, so I thought if I change early, drop down to the 5th, try and get the slipstream and then try and dive on the inside. We'll see what we can do, but I felt like I braked as late as I possibly could. I didn't think the move was going to work, so we thought we'd maybe, as we can see, another Porsche got off there. So the thing with this race as well is that the Porsche seems to be just battered. I don't know if they're being pushed off or making mistakes, but they seem to be just, yeah, coming off, as we can see again. Going down the straight, quite a few people there, quite nice and tight, as we're really tight behind this Mercedes now, trying to do our best. Nowhere near what we could be if we were not getting a slipstream. So he brakes early, I go around the outside, I start to drift, and I get that done. Now that is a rally-esque move. I was really happy with that. My rear end was coming out, but thanks to Evo's, you know, real good grip, I was able to control it and just take on the outside. So that's definitely the overtake of the race so far. That was really good. As we can see, the Portugueseman in front of us, he gets a penalty. And it looks like someone else got a penalty as well, so this could get a bit juicy as we go through this lap, and we'll see what kind of times this car can do as well, because obviously we'll be looking to see. I think the best lap we've done is a 1:57.5. and that was in the Z4. So let's just see these guys serve their penalties then. Interestingly, one of them doesn't yet, it's too early, so we just about get this Porsche, and we should brake quite late, hit the inside of this corner quite nice. So you kind of want to brake a little bit late, and then hang around the outside, and then get a nice exit on the edge of that corner. Make sure you get some good speed all the way up this hill. I always just let go of the throttle ever so slowly as I go up this little section here, because I feel as if you put the foot all the way down, you kind of don't really make it. You're going to hit the sand at the end, and it's going to lose your time. So we've got a nice group of cars ahead of us again then. P12 already, 2 laps in, which is really, really good. We'll see where we end up on the end of this lap, as we're just out of slipstream range, which has been annoying. So we'll be losing the slipstream, and the guy behind us will be gaining. He's gained a lot of time on us already, to be honest. Just 3 tenths behind us now. Hit the break point, lovely there. Took that like a champion. There you go.
Oh, hell no!
For Christ's sake, I mean, we were really making good progress, and I've just literally bragged about how well I've took that corner, and I've got corner cutting penalty for it. To be fair, I did kind of take the piss with that corner a little bit. I know you can cut it quite a bit, but that was yeah, that was really taking the piss on that one. As we go down the end of this straight, then just go around the first corner. I really do love the replay cameras on this game; they are great. So that looked really good. As we are starting lap 3 out of 4 then. So this is quite tight then, even though we've got a half-second penalty the guy ahead of us has. We are quite close to what the BMW Z4 can do. So can we beat the Z4 in the battle of the 3 worst cars on the game? Let's see. So penalty point is coming up soon, so this is where we're going to have to serve the penalty. The Audi R8 in front of us is going to have the same issues. Half a second, it shouldn't make too much of a difference. So let's get ready to serve this then. And there we go, lovely. So not too bad then, half a second. It's not going to destroy your race at all, but these guys get really close, and yes, they kind of take each other out. So we'll take that, and we'll take that, Mr. Masterman, as we, yeah, we're now at P10. So officially, if we finish here, we are beating the Z4. So yes, the Evo is claiming back a bit of respect, because it will beat the Z4, and that's what I'd like, to be honest with you, because I've always liked the Evo. So it would be great if this is the winner out of the 3, but we will see what's happened. So lap 3 out of 4 then, only a lap and a bit to go as we get ourselves ready for all this chicane again then. I do like this corner, but it's incredibly hard to tell when to brake. It's kind of just before the 100-meter board, but if you brake just a little bit later, you're still gonna make the corner, but you'll overshoot it and you'll get a bad exit on the end of the corner. Yeah, so my advice there is just brake a little bit earlier than what you'd expect, and you can really nail that first bit of the chicane, and it'll give you a good exit. So here we are then. There's what, 5, 6, 7 cars within 2-3 seconds of each other, so anything can happen here then as we enter lap 4. I hit the breaker point beautifully there, tucked myself in nice and early, but unfortunately I get on the power too early and I try to recover it, yeah, and I absolutely fuck it up, which is not great, which was a crap feeling, because I really wanted to do well in the Evo, and yeah, that's just, yeah. And we end up finishing P15, which kind of ruins it, to be honest with you. So then, out of the battle of the 3 worst cars, surprisingly, the Z4 has won. I was totally expecting the Evo to win, to be honest with you, because even though it's pretty shite in a straight line, it's yeah, the handling of it is really good. So it's really stable. So I was expecting good things from the Evo. It looked like a top 10 was on almost for the Evo, but yeah, there we are, P15. Quite annoyed with that, to be honest with you. That's more driver error than anything else, but it was a car essentially at the end of the day that I lost control of, therefore it still stands. So out of the 3 races we've done then, I would say the Hyundai was the worst, the Evo is second, and then the Z4 takes the crown, surprisingly, with yeah, a P11 finish. So well done. I did notice that the Evo almost had a fastest lap. It was fastest lap on lap 2 or 3, but there you go. So I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe, and yeah, we'll keep this going. Ta-da.